I got into another question. I asked the sheriff how many, we're seeing an increase of drugs in our county, here in Butler County, Ohio. It's coming in, we're seeing more poundage. You know, 100 pounds used to be a big thing here of marijuana, or 5 kilos of cocaine used to be a huge thing. But we're seeing more keys, we're seeing more pounds of marijuana. And I was talking to the sheriff, Larry, I said, how do you guys measure the pounds that's coming across? We're seeing a big increase. And he laughed. He said, we don't measure it in pounds, or we measure it in tons. In 6 months, so far this year of 07, the first 6 months, they've apprehended or captured 9 tons of marijuana. The marijuana is packaged in these trash compactors that people have at home, and are 80-pound packs placed on your back. The illegals are humping this over, or bringing it over the mountains and bringing it from Mexico into the United States. So this is how they're getting the marijuana in. This is how they're getting the cocaine in. This is how they could possibly and probably have. I've not seen this, but once you see it, which I've seen the videos in the county where the night scopes, the night vision, where you see it's organized now, where the bandits are robbing these people, stealing their drugs, killing them in the desert. But when you look at it and you can see, why couldn't they bring in a dirty bomb? Why couldn't they bring in weapons of mass destruction? Why couldn't they bring in chemicals? It is unbelievable what the possibility is. So, and I am very, very concerned. The number of people that are coming across that aren't apprehended at all, and this is just one county. After I seen the marijuana, after I seen how these people come in, we were also told that they use crystal meth to pump the people up with the crystal meth so they can climb these mountains. And make no doubt about it, they pushed them from the cities by putting the fences up in some of these areas, the big high fences, which looks like somebody shot them with missiles, where the holes are in them, top and under, and where they've repaired them. And where then there comes to a spot where they're pushing them from the big cities, because once they get across the border in these cities, over the fence, they go less than 100 yards and they can blend in the community, and you don't know where they're at. I talked to ranchers, one rancher that we talked to when we were on our trip, and talked about the thousands that he personally has witnessed, about the military. We've seen photographs, what he referred to as the military from the Mexican government, escorting these people in. They found people in their trucks when they get up in the morning, in their houses or in their garages. The violence has increased. And as you go out of the cities, then the fences get smaller. The American people have no idea. When I say smaller, there's cattle fences. A cattle fence is what you see when you're out in the country. 3 strands of barbed wire is where the big fence stops. Then you'll see the 3 strands of wire. Those wires, that little fence is no more than this tall, probably 3 foot tall. And it's just 3 strands of barbed wire. And you'll see it where it's all torn out, and you can see the paths where the people come in. And that fence was not intended to keep people out. That was intended to keep cattle out, to keep cattle from diseases in Mexico to coming into the United States and blending in with our meat product. Then there's some places where there's no fence at all. Then you'll see places on gravel roads along the fence where there's cameras, and you won't see anybody for hours. And it's a gravel road where the fence is. It's very rural. One of the crews, the camera crews that was from one of our local TV channels that was with us there, Channel 12, Rich Jaffe and his cameraman, on the way to the sheriff's station, they actually witnessed 2 illegals giving themselves up to the local sheriff's office. They were lost in the desert or in the mountains at night. They came out during the daylight. They gave themselves up. They didn't have any water. They said they give up. They just want to go back to Mexico. So they were apprehended. The Border Patrol came out from the sheriff's office. They were apprehended. And this is pretty regular. It happens every night or every day. The sheriff's office told me at times from their lobby they could look at the hills that surround the sheriff's office, and they can actually witness illegals coming into their country to the United States right in front of the sheriff's office, just walking down the hills. It's totally out of control. And the sheriff's also told me that when they come into this country, there's people that are getting flight tickets one way from several countries. It's not all from Mexico. They come to the Mexican border and they get a one-way ticket there from other countries, Guatemalans and other countries, and just so they can smuggle in and come in from there, and or they can use them to pack these drugs in over the hills. Sometimes they get paid $500 for packing these drugs in, and sometimes they get paid nothing at all. It depends. Their families back in Mexico could be taken hostage or framed or anything like that. It's easy to understand because of the poverty in Mexico, but Mexico is not the poorest country in the world. They're one of the biggest oil producers in the world, and they're also one of the biggest coffee producers in the world. But there's corruption in the system. When you have right across the border in Mexico from Cochise County, the city there, in Mexico, there's been 27 police officers killed. The chief of police drives around in an armored vehicle. The sheriff told me he used to go into Mexico, and he had people that he would meet with over there from the law enforcement that he said they told him not to come over anymore. It's too dangerous. While I was there in the port of entry, I was probably this close to being in the Mexico City, but I was told that it would have been illegal for me to go over there anyway, but I wasn't going to go anyway. But you can just feel the tension when you're standing there. But you can see the people coming across at the port of entry, and we were told they come in every day, and the same people go across. They bring their kids in, they pick them up, they take them back. There's no charges for any of these people coming into this country for their vehicles on the roads to pay taxes. But when you actually see it, like I did, and the sheriff also told me the planes that have come in the past, the planes, they've actually chased airplanes with squad cars. That's how bad it's been. And don't believe that all these people are coming here for a better life and that it's just because they're poor and it's a better life. There's people that are coming into this country that for reasons that are criminally, and the gangs that are coming in, the violence that are coming in. And there is make no mistake about it, that the crimes aren't picking up on the percentages of illegals that are in this country. But I've always said, and I want you, the public, to know, not just in this county, in the entire country, that I have enough problems with my own homegrown criminals. I'm not saying that the illegals that come here from other countries, China, Russia, Mexico, it just so happens that Mexico's on our border here, and it's cheaper to come here, $2,000, maybe $1,000, depending on where you're at, to be escorted into this country, as versus $20,000 to $40,000 from China and Russia. I have enough problems with my own homegrown criminals. I wish I could deport my own criminals to another country, and maybe we can make some kind of a trade. But it's to a point to where I'm concerned, and you need to be aware of it, the American public does, is that I'm concerned that it's maybe later than we think, and that you need to be aware of these things that are happening. You won't see it televised much. That's why we're doing it here by computer, and we're going to get it on our website and our blog page. And we want you to know, you need to ask your congressmen, your senators, your local law enforcement, and believe me, with the hospitals and your law enforcement, your courts, your interpreters, your police, it's totally out of control. And and it's been out of control for many years, and it's probably been out of control since 1986. But I want you to be aware of it. I've just come back from the border, and I wish I could give you good news, but there is no good news. Thank you very much.